But lately I was getting a little bit, I get hit by certain news and it puts me down. And I didn't put out a video, so I'm there the next, and then finally I get the courage, I get myself all psyched up, and I'm like inspired to go ahead and noch it's the only thing I can think of is as the stehst, as when we get in Spital, when we get on a kind, they tell you not to come until the contractions are coming as every 2 minutes. So sagt man euch, betracht von uns von Neuven, that's for sure. But on the one hand, you feel that there is misvernommen mit uns von Neuven, because you couldn't say anymore that the Inyanim are random. You'd never see anything as random, but the sequence of the Inyanim that have been happening of a nicht Teuva Nideva Nigle is the only thing, I think the Ruzhin hat gesagt, dass gleich von Mashiach wird kommen, dass darauf kommen der Feier auf eine andere Seite. Das ist einer so wie Eliyahu Bar Carmel. Nissim Zetman, there is an incredible miracles and Nissim of him Tzadsheni. Zayis Sadali Yaakov. Darfman, we need to ratchet up our pulas. That's all I can think of. Because the natural response is that I want to curl up and fartik. But das nicht was for the Rebbe Wolfen and for Nader. But I'm saying there's a certain chizuk you can take from the idea that the very idea that it's happening, and it's happening at such intensity. Und wir willen, als die Gulde soll kommen auf, und wir gamen bechesed berachmen. Aber mit Tzadsheni, wenn das geschieht, ist das Simen als darf man werden stärker. That's all I don't know. That's all I can think of.
How was Nes Chanukah?
Was ist das?
In der Rabbin Biyad Ma'atim ist gewesen Rahman al-Itzlan, those who fell.
Sicher gewesen.
Sure.
Ja, das weiß man.
Was ist in them? But es tut weh, man darf schreien at Mossad, no question about it. Jeder Patsua und jeder Horror, was soll sein, so dass es von Bleachers, so dass es von Bombs. So Rahman al-Itzlan, it's just frightening, but at the same time, we can't lose focus. Chanukah is the größte Yont.
Nein, I'm talking in the Indian, on the idea of a Leda, of a birth. So when the woman is suffering and she's getting contractions, this is an
man like to run away.
Yeah, it's a different type.
Exactly. We curl up and we just stand outside and I don't want to hear this. Ich will nicht hören, the Keulis of Rakim, right? We're a bunch of cowards, and let's call it spade a spade. Yes, this is who we are, right? But the mitzvah is, as the Chusnashim Tzidkani is, and we have to learn from them, not to lose sight, not to lose. It is painful, there's no question about it. And at Rahman al-Itzlan, it's extremely painful. As Rabbi Yosef said, he knew what he was talking about, right? Nevertheless, we weren't given this choice. I once heard the story. I don't know, I'm just, I guess we didn't start the program yet, or did we?
You did it, it's good, it's what we're bringing.
I don't see the program, okay, fine. I heard once, I heard the story from him in different nuschois. So, but the mice is a good. I heard the story from Manis. He's spoke about it many times. One time, the way I originally heard it, he was coming to Argentina for a Shabbos, for a program, and it was late. The ganze drama. On the way from the airport, he's told there's a lady that never lost her son, and she's schrecklich, and nobody can calm her down, and you have to go speak to her. It's on the way from the airport. He had no choice. He was going. Comes into the house, and indeed, there's a woman that is Rahman al-Itzlan in the worst of conditions. Her only son, a beautiful young man. I don't remember all the details. Whatever it was, and she is not accepting any nechama. She's devastated. Rahman al-Itzlan. She's thinking of the worst. So Mani starts telling her, usually, but what everybody will say, usually mistake is mistake. So he tells her, I want to ask you a question. What would have been if God would tell you, I have a soul that has to come down into this world for 10 years or whatever amount of years. because this soul needs to accomplish something exceptional. But you should know, after 10 years, this child is going to be taken away from you. And if God would ask you, are you willing? What would you tell God? So she looks at him, so he says the story. I would have told God, no, thank you. I don't want it. I don't want to go through it. So Mana said, and this is why God didn't ask you. He didn't ask you. He gave you this precious gift because he knew that if you will refuse it. So he didn't ask you. But you should know that this is, okay? Let's leave Manis's drama out of the story. It's this Yom, it's this Nisham, it's Mitchlige. I'd like to believe the Maisi Shahoyo Hoyo. Nicht wie andere sagen, Maisi Shahoyo Loy Hoyo. Maisi Shahoyo Hoyo. The word is a richtige. The Nekud is a richtige. He's not asking us, do we want it or don't we want it? Mir darf mich schreien, Rebbeinu Shalom, enough is enough. Ad Mosai, Lamarai Oysa, die alle Teile, das darf mir schreien. Aber von der zweiten Seite darf man wissen, we don't ask. Why? What?
Als geht an Mazel Tov.
Yeah. Oh, wie lang es tut weh, darf man schreien, Eis, es tut weh. Aber darf man wissen, as the Rebbe had a plan, not a good plan, and it's obvious, as he's saying. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. What is it, 3,500, 4,500 brackets already fell? Ich meine, es hat sich wenn ein paar Harugim, aber zwischen sie voran zwei Thailand, zwei Araber, einer von Hodu, right? I mean, isn't this, I mean, der Rebster weiß doch da etwas, right? I mean, am Mokkam, der Rebster sagt, einer, der Kerber Breser schon, nachher schon, am Mokkam betrug bei Jesus, wir setzen sich doch mal auf. Sie doch manchmal, nissen, jeder Missel, was fällt, ist ein anderer Ness. Right? Ist zusammen mit der Zeige, darf man wissen, dass it's happening, and we got to do our part. There is no curling up, Rabbi Wolf. This is not an option. This choice we haven't been given. Wird ja nicht gesagt, du kannst sagen ja, oder du kannst sagen ja. That's the choice that we have. So we might as well, wie der Friedrich Rebbe gesagt, wo darfst du warten, wir sollten nicht doch schleppen bei die Äfer auf Lenach Siddes. Right? Jetzt haben wir der Friedrich Rebbe, told him zu Lenach Siddes, sagt halt noch, darf noch mal eine Kreise mit seinen Pilpullen, bin ich alle tot. Right? So the Friedrich Rebbe said, what darfst du warten? What do you have to wait till? And apparently the Friedrich Rebbe showed. What do you have to wait till you'll be pulled by your ear? You might as well go with a shmeichel. You might as well go. So that's the choice. Are we going to be going like soldiers? Or are we going to go like schleppers? So this is the choice. So the Rebbe gave us exactly what it is that we need to do. No question about it. Amos, I just saw today, actually, B'Shem Oimroi for Moshe Begemilski. Today I saw it in his, wie heißt das? In his V'Debartebam. I was paying a little bit attention to Pirush HaMilis, to this Bashgacha Pratis, in the Sheish Zechiras, was dafür gedenken, Yom Asher Amadeto, לפני השם אלוקיך בחורב. Was in a chayrev? Wo bin ich gestanden? B'chayrev to Sinai. So I was looking into it a little bit. First time you find the pasuk b'chayrev, we find it by Moshe Hoyetzoynes, Moshe Hoyetzoynes Tzoyin Chaysnoi, right? And
when he went Achar
Midbar, yes. Oh yeah, Achabizdah. Okay. Moshe Hoyetzoynes Yisrael Chaysnoi. Vayinag es Tzoyin Achar Midbar, Vayovay al Haru Elikim Chayrevo. Pashim say, which is Har Elikim, all this is Har Sinai. What's it Chayrevo? Why is it called Chayrevo? Why is this place called Chayrevo? So bring it off in Even Ezra, then Even Ezra Zok, that's a Pashim. It's a place, but it's dry, which I don't understand. So what did he take? What did he take the sign over there? Als sie nicht noch was zu essen. What does he think? So lässt du stehen da lachen. Okay, das ist nachher scheinen. But he brings over here a beautiful thought from Sefer Kol Simcha, ich weiß nicht wer. Beautiful thought, sagt also. And Moshe Rabbeinu saying the man is not talking over here about just Yisrael Shepsalach. This is in Mikriyot mit Pshuter. Aber Moshe Rabbeinu saying es Yisrael the Zoin Sep Zura. Moshe Rabbeinu führt uns Achar Midbo. We have to know Asido Achar Midbo Sido Ananda noch Midbo kommt was Harelekim. Nach Midbo kommt Harelekim. Sitake Chorevo. The way we receive the Torah, as I got noch another word, but I'm going to get to a beautiful Ashene Dudele, but the Achar Midbo. So he says like this: Achar Midbo. When you take the Oisius, which comes after Midbar, is Nun, Gimel, Hey, Shin. Mem is Nun, Mid base is Dalet is Hey, Cholo. Nun, Hey, Gimel, Shin. Is the Oasis that come after Midbar.
It's just Hanukkah.
It does his Neis Godel Hoyasham. But that is the Gematria from Mashiach. Neis Godel Hoyasham is the 358, is the Zakter. Achar Midbar, das wissen, where we going, wo Moshe Rabbeinu führt uns nach Midbar. Wo führt uns zu der Geula? Führt uns, was then? Das ist Chareva. What is our task? To change from Midbar, from Chareva, from dry land, auf wie machen Garten, unsere Indien ist Elegani. Das ist unser Rabbeinu. Geschmack geworden. Ja, schöne teure Land. It's a Geschmack in der Kunde. Auf wissen, der Rebbe führt uns. Midbar is a tough place, yes. Nachashu v'akrabim, sie dort da. Kol mina oshikenischen, dort is alles da. But führt uns, he's protecting us, he's guiding us, he's taking us, he's leading us, and we just have to go along with the program.
Yesterday we had mein Platz, mein Center da heißt Chmayim Yisrael.
Yeah.
Jeder Jahr Shavuos for the last 10 years, we make a very big event because of Baal Shem Tov. So yesterday in the afternoon, as if it's in Sof, what they call Neila Sachag, we have every year a big event called a symposium, and I bring different speakers. And so that thing the Baal Shem Tov, and we take a different noise in Chassidus, and everybody gives you. So yes, this year I looked for something appropriate, and I came up. We did Mashiach last time, but this time we did Or Metoich HaChoshech. Baal Shem Tov's cook. So when I spoke and I mentioned I looked in Ches Shem Tov, and dort bringt sich a Wort von the Ches Shem Tov von told us, he brings B'Shem Moiri, very short, that when a Yid is when we say Oshamnu Bagadnu. The Oisius of Aleph Beis. So the Baal Shem Tov says it's Kemoshel a Melech that comes to as Meshana the Levush and the Ksus, his garment and his Loshen. Meshana Lashoina Yus when it comes to the Malka, and he tries to seduce the Malka, but it's really the Melech. It's a Moshel of Yitzhahara. This is some stuff is also the. And when we say Hashamnu Bagadnu, we're being Megala the Aleph in Ala and Yonim, the Aleph Idar. But then he brings that's why we find in Oz Yashir is the pasuk Omar Oyev Erdoiv Asig Achalek Sholo, where you're talking about the darkest moment when Para is coming. But what is it really? It's 5 Alephs. It's Omar Oyev Erdoiv Asig Achalek Sholo. That's the Eberster. So I was mentioning because the first night Shavuos, when I was walking home, so the first time in Los Angeles, I thought already I'm on the streets of London. The first time in LA, we had a parade coming. I went to speak in a different shul, and I'm walking home, and I happened to be myself on the street, big street, and I hear honking with flag, and I saw already some Megid. Esav Ba Arba Meis Ish, and they're coming down, and they're all like 50 cars. They pass me, and they're all screaming, "Free Palestine, free Palestine!" And Ich habe sie gescholten, ich habe sie gegeben, Klolisten, but I was afraid they could have jumped out and hurt me. But okay, Baruch Hashem. So, and I know someone else in my shul. So people saw, people were very shooken up, very shooken up. So I mentioned yesterday, look, what was it? I said, it was Omar Oyev, the Aleph is gekommen, der Eberst ist gekommen mit 300 oder Caravan of 3. Und geschrien zu mir, Wolf, what are you doing? Free Palestine. Two of us, they said it in the language they understand. But what are they really saying? Bring the Geula. The Tus, we do what we do, but we have to, darf man kennen sein in the Omar Oyev, man darf kennen sein in the Rockets, we can have to see in all these inyanim, and das ist euch der Aleph. Aber fort, wir wollen schon nicht davon da sein in ways that we have to spin it. But as you said, wir fragt uns nicht. But uns nicht they didn't ask us if we're signing up for this. No, but I do feel is very strongly is that Midarf Poshet uns Chassidim, that the world is looking to Lubavitch now. If there was ever a moment that Lubavitch needed to shine, and the Lubavitch needed to run up in the front and hold the Degel HaGeula, it's right now. Because no one has an answer. If people in Los Angeles are already afraid to walk on the streets, there's no other. Yet, and the Maisamit, as you said, the bleachers, and in other words, Mizet, Epistutzach, und mecher von Asach Rabbanim Menschen sagen Geula. Gesagt, the Rabbanim in Eretz Yisrael fired them, das, Jens. But for some reason, Lubavitch is very quiet. But if there ever was a time that we need to rally all the shluchim, so Baruch Hashem, the tutals is this. But now is the time for us to wake up. We have to really get out there with Geula. So Shver Tzashrai and Geula during tragedy, but there's no other answer but Geula. And that's not why we want Mashiach because of this. But when this the pressure is up and the heat is up, it needs to call forth a stronger response from us. So the question is, how do we grow Minatzchim to be 1,000 strong? And take ton alles was we can. The Poyel Mamish.
Somehow we have to get the message out in the street. The Tutals is an amazing program. There's no to reden. So Pashat aufgeweckt Anash von alle Seiten. Pashat woke us up and we realized, as I heard the Ger Rebbe said, then when the Rebbe Tongi mit Mashiach na mit der ganzen Campaign, so auf dem Ger-Style sagte, hat nicht entdeckt Mashiach. Mashiach ist eine alte Sache. Hat ihn mal rausgenommen vom Freezer. It's nothing new. Okay? And I think now is the time that we should take him out of the Baruch Hashem. It's not in the deep freeze. It's not even in the freezer. Fridge. So we really have to go out to the whole world with this message. I mean, I'm sure that you've seen it. There was this the WhatsApp. It was from Bachim in Paris, Bachim in Brunois, and gang in Paris. And Paris is not a pleasant place to be. Dorten is Yishmol hat sich dort sehr stark verspreht. And sie lassen sich hören, v'chulu, especially now with this whole court case, people are nervous, afraid. But getanzt in the gas. They went with time, and they went this place and this place and this place. Pashat getanzt in the Bachet. So Pashat aufgelebt the gas. So we have to bring that the Mrem's message. It is Geula. Sie tut weh. Yes, it tut weh. Mishtaten bezeichen. Not chas v'shon saying, okay, all this is nothing. Geula kommt. No. It's a bitter and it's painful. Sie chavle leider. Aber dafür wir wissen, it is chavle leider. Und man darf schreien zum Ebersten, genug ist genug. Wenn die Leute gemeint sind mit Rematel Chernobyl, was hat man nicht mehr kommen. Da sagt er, es Asher Yahav, Hashem Yechiach. Right? So he told him, es Asher Yahav, if das Tag lieb jenem Yidden is Hashem Yechiach. So gehst du zum Ebersten, how you talking, you do this. Fine, good. But together with this has to be the clear message.
Because I mean, I would say there is definitely going to be now, there's no shaila, that there's going to be big asifas of Yidden all over the world, Zekeren Avelt. Without a shaila, there is going to be big asifas. We have to make sure that the asifa is not to daven and the tzara zon sich oife. Man darf machen sicher, dass der asifa darf sein nicht für Yeshua ist in der Chames, nur wie der Friediger habe gesagt, der
Ein
ein
Yeshua, aber der
der
Rechte.
Richtige. So this is what we need to now bring, as the Olam soll schreien Mashiach, and man soll schreien Giyuma. That has to be the message. And this is where our responsibility, I believe. But I think people are receptive. I think people will be receptive now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Question is how we make it happen of a nefa at the Welt soll es haben.
Efshe darf man probieren. Maybe we're thinking too much that they're not listening. Okay, you know.
Red mit wem?
With Rabbanim, with whoever is organized, when you see an asifa happening, we have to, I don't know, maybe you have to get them before they make the asifa, because once they're making the asifa, they have already there.
The speeches.
Yeah. In other words, we're coming from a place that we're thinking, Moshe Rabbeinu zok, v'hein lo yaminu li, v'lo shamu al Moshe. There's up. I mean, you may not
they want to hear. We're not talking, but they want to hear.
Yeah. We have to connect. We have to connect to those Rabbanim that have a big voice, and they're already with us. I was mentioning this already a while ago. There are Rabbanim that are already with us in this. We know already. You know, Rabbi, what was it? Rotner had from our group.
Rotman.
Rotman connected deeply to Moshe Weinberg. He's such a powerful voice out there today. Makubal in the Welt. He's not the Badatz Yerushalayim, but he's a serious voice that people reckon with and hear and listen. And he's so willing to have a kinnis on Mashiach in Shturim and Wegen the Geula. He told her. So someone like that, we have to start. Let's start, start moving it.
Is the solution possibly to hire someone to take on these projects?
It has to be that, because we're talking and talking and talking, and it's not going anywhere, because there's no. It feels like feels a little daunting, and no one. From all these weeks, I don't feel. Besides Rabbi Rotman, I don't feel anybody who actually went ahead and did something about it. He spoke to a few people. I don't know if he's on right now, but he spoke to a few people, and he got to a few Rabbanim, and he got to a few Indianim. So. Now he started, but we need someone who's gonna actually do it.
So how?
We have to pay someone to do this.
Do we do a fundraiser?
I can get a little fun. I can get a little funding if other people want to chip in. Meaning, I'm not, that I know people that maybe would be interested in putting in some money into this. And we need someone to be paid to pull this off. We're not talking about something it's a week's worth. It's all that it is. This thing has to be put together in 1 week. If you need 2 weeks, it's 2 weeks. We're not talking over here of if a guy is seriously sitting and working on this.
Who were the guys who did then the Hanukkah 18-minute? What was it then from Australia?
Oh, that's him. I know who that is. The leader
Dudu.
was involved with it. Dudu.
That was Dudu leader?
Yeah, and the one is, what's his name? I know the guy who's funding it. What's his name? No.
Josh?
No, it wasn't Josh. No. It's the other guy. The one who does, I think, all the mobile shluchim. He did a few.
Kornhauser?
Not Kornhauser, and not Josh. That's another one, I guess.
If anybody knows, maybe put the name in the chat. So should we reach out to them?
Maybe we should reach out to these guys, and they shown that they know how to get the world excited, to get it organized, and
it's a little bit of a different world. The world that they, and I'm not saying anything more important than the less. The world that they were speaking to was more the more modernische Welt, if you can say it. The more I'm talking about more the Haredische Welt. It was not exactly the same thing, but both of them are just as important.
So now we have to brainstorm on not just ideas. We have ideas, but how to make them happen.
Yes.
And so we know we have to get someone that we can even part-time job offer them, someone good, and who will get on at least, do the job and get on our cases to make sure we do our part. I think there's a lot of guys in the Minatzchim that can give an hour of their week to job if it's on.
Yes,
it's one thing giving an hour. It needs one person. It needs one person.
What I'm saying is we hire one person who's part-time, and his job is to make sure that things are divvied up between other chevra.
We need to hire a person who should be full-time for the next 2 weeks. This is what he's doing. And he's gonna call this one to help him, and all of us will help him. But it needs one person. If not, it's not going to happen. Let's be very.
It's better to hire someone part-time, but they shouldn't be only for 2 weeks. They should be forever. For this project, the next project.
Okay, good, fine. We'll go. We'll jump over the bridge when we get there. Let's first get this moving.
How?
Any idea who?
Yosef, are you on? You had, I think, ideas in the past? No? There were a lot of people gave names that they suggested we would contact.
In Kyle and Karnite, just many younger guys would be willing to take on a part-time job.
We need one. We don't need many. Do you know anybody about a Heverman? Was it a Balmeretz and a Balchushim? And he'll make it happen?
Yeah, maybe just write what you want. I'll write what you want. You put it on the chat, and then you go on. Who's interested? We'll post it. You see which one you want.
Yeah, maybe we could send Yehuda, because he's not too far from Kanites. He can go to the Koilel and find someone who has a good reputation.
Maybe.
And then how do we give them their job description of what we want them to do?
We decide on what the pool is that we want to make, and that's it. I think there needs to be a sifis amongst Yidden across the world, online, and if possible in person, that needs to become as Yidden a gathering and calling out and crying for Mashiach. That's what it is. As an asifa of understanding that the whole nakud is that we're living in Yemoisa Mashiach. We're living very close to the Geulah. I think most Yidden are feeling it already. That's the toichan of it. And we need our participation to help drive the Geulah. That's what it is, and that's by whether it's davening, whether it's all the inyanim that are involved in that. That's the focus over here.
Basically, you need to get 10 Choshev Gedolei Yisrael from the different parts, dedicated time on Zoom, or there may be face. This is the most practical, and each one should speak about the urgency and publicize it all over the world in all the frumme places that don't have WhatsApps, they only have websites, but there's nobody reading it because they don't have smartphones and they don't see it. But yet it's the most popular sites, and make it happen.
Yeah, if you had one Zoom meeting, as you mentioned, with 7 to 10 serious people speaking about Mashiach, you've already broken a huge into the oil.
Absolutely.
Well, it's all that is. You know, and I think from there it'll already create its own momentum.
Yeah.
You know, we shouldn't have to wait.
Amen.
So who is going to look for the younger man?
I'm going to contact Yehuda and ask him if he can go find somebody. And if he's not the man, I'll put it back on the WhatsApp so we can continue.
Can we create here a slush fund of $20,000? The person should know he has what to work with. He's going to need advertisements. He has to hire to create proper advertisement, not chaplap, and this takes money.
Yes, 100%.
So if the younger man is going to know, look, he's going to get for the next month, whatever. Let's give it a month. Right? To work on it. This is what you're getting $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to work on it. You need a place where to work. Hopefully you have a house that has a computer. If you need, you're going to have to buy your computer and work. And hopefully you have internet and you won't have to rely, because most colleagues rely on the Wi-Fi they have from a second neighbor. You can get your own internet to scan back on phone calls and get it off the ground.
Okay. How do we get money or something like this?
The just said he's willing to put some money.
Okay, but it's not 20 grand.
No, not 20 grand.
How do you know it's not? Maybe it is. Reuven, how much are you willing to give?
I hope I can get, let's say, $2,000.
I'm matching you.
Okay. So we're already almost there. For the younger man, we have already the salary.
Sure.
So maybe we could reach out to the rest of the Minatzchim and ask them if anyone can come up with some funding.
But I'll tell you, it's going to be easier to go to the rest of the Minatzchim and tell them, look, we have a person, he's starting to work.
Yeah.
Because if it's just, we are going to look, so
if anybody knows like a balabas who would like to sponsor something serious about Mashiach, this is it. It's never been done before.
Let's make this an unofficial thing. It doesn't need an official gushpanke, because if you're going to start with the official gushpankes, I understand they have their rules, they have their regulations, they have their concerns, how it's going to work. So Moshe Shlomi Napiasik should continue doing which is doing phenomenal. And this should be a pe'ula, one pe'ula that few people are doing it finished. It doesn't need anybody's official chsima and support. Get together 5-10 rabbanim, ein Lubavitcherov from America, maybe I'm saying Choshevarov in Eretz Yisrael. Get them from the Litvische Gedolim, get a Rabusho Weiss. I heard this Said Rabusho Weiss in Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You know him? You have a contact with him?
I don't, but I know the girl, the woman who did the children's geula, that they should geula gathering, got him to speak. And I know her. I don't know how her contact got to him.
Okay.
Her husband is on the
somebody mentioned to me. The other day, somebody mentioned to me, where Rabusha Weiss is. So he told me that this Rabusha Weiss is considered one of the
big places in the world. Yeah. Considered one of the big paiskim today.
Okay. And he told me a name.
His brother is at Edim, but the Kloisenberger, but the Friedige Kloisenberger.
Yeah, his brother is Bezdin Doi Montreal.
That's a Nocha Brüder, okay. Maybe it's the same brother.
Another brother. Maybe.
Yeah.
So, but I was Bashgacha Pratis, I was told that somebody who's exceptionally close to this Rebosho, I know him. I can call him. I can ask him to.
By the way, for example, Punkt last night I looked at Bechadrei Chadorim, one of the Fruma websites, the see on the news. So they bring the Tzanzer's Tish, the Tzanzer, the old Kloizer Megason. So he addressed Banila Sachag, the tragedies that are happening, and he was basically saying it's just a test. It's a test on our Ramuna right before Bias HaMashiach.
There you go.
Yeah, there's Zoktas. So
we have to publicize it. We have to make sure it's heard together, it's heard in unison, and after this, the Faroizgin in the publicity about it. So it takes one person to get to work and gather it.
Yes.
So who is going to look for the post?
I have a request. Label, if you're on, Label, Estrin, if you're on, maybe you could help us write a few words just to promote the idea of what it is we want to do to get someone on board with us. I'm not talking about the Keilu Jungerman, I'm talking about the funding for that person. Because I think people will give.
I'll be happy to sit down and write something up for you. And we could do a job description as well.
Yeah, because without that, it's not going to be clear. You have to be so clear.
No problem.
Thank you. And then we could use it as a presentation. Also, by the way, Ebzusha and Reuven, we're going to need you guys to be open to sharing and guiding whoever this is. It's not, they can't do it by themselves. So we're the think tank and they have to be the action.
Is the easiest thing.
No, it has to be the right eitzes.
Jetzt haben wir gesagt, auf eitzes habe ich, weißt du, no?
Listen, without the eitzes of the Minatzchim, the tutals, wouldn't.
Look, let's not live with what we have done in the past. Beautiful, it's fine. We cannot. In Quebec, they live with Je me souviens. I live with the past because they don't believe in the future. But the license plate says Je me souviens. I remember. It's a gedenk. We left in the mother. So, Tachlis. So. Whoever I didn't pick up exactly, I think Level Eston is going to write up the job proposal, etc. We need somebody to go find a younger man. We could ask Shlomi Napastik if he knows anybody because he's been using people. Maybe he can maybe suggest a younger man.
Who could ask Shlomi? Who's on who wants to speak to him? Anybody?
Shlomi is easy to talk to.
Could you do it?
Better shouldn't come from me. I know him enough for the 1,000,001 things.
Okay, so is anybody else on who doesn't mind making a phone call to Shlomi? There's only 11 of us on right now. We have to divvy it up.
I think if
I'll tell you what,
will call him would be fine. You can call Shlomi.
I'm going to call Yehuda, and because I want Yehuda involved. I think he's very good at this.
Yeah, I think if Yehuda calls Shlomi, it'd be better.
Yehuda can speak to Shlomi.
I'll speak to Yehuda.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our marching orders.
For names. We're not giving him any responsibilities. We're not putting him on his plate, and we're not asking to go clear it in Marcus 302. Just as you have a suggestion of names of Bachrim, a Bacher, a younger man. There was a Bal Meretz, a Bal Chushim, and we'll make it happen. That's all we're asking him. We're just asking for information, not for any achais. He shouldn't get scared that we're throwing something else on him.
I'll reach out. Okay, very good. So that's a real Poel Mamish.
No, it's noch gar nicht. It's noch kein Poel Mamish. Sorry to put it like this, but it's a hachlata of a Poel Mamish. So shouldn't.
It says Meister Sheba Chachma, Malchus Sheba Chachma. It's got a little while to go.
By the way, we were closer to this not too long ago. We were about to hire someone to do it. But then we pivoted and we went to totals, and now we're
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
good. But
Yeah.
again, we should still, if we are still, whatever we can still do and help in the totals we have to do, etc., etc. But this is
I feel like Tutals needs to get again their write-ups in COL, and now it's halfway. It's already going into the fourth week. They need to pump it more out again into all the Chabad things. We had a very strong showing of it, but I don't know if I've seen it so much in the last. It's in the advertisement area, the publication, and the PR. I don't know. Did anybody see on COL or Facebook on Anash?
I can't answer. I don't go so much over there. Let's get back over here. So Mandy, you're gonna reach out to Shlomi?
Okay. Yeah.
Fine. And Label Astrid is writing up a proposal. Thing. Okay. Und Rebruven wird gemäßigt. Okay, so we're all done. Und Geld. Nicht nur Rätsel, Geld und Rätsel.
Okay, yeah.
I match you, Rebruven, I'll match you with the Rätsel and with the Geld.
Okay. Okay, good. Same as Shabbat. Very good.
All right.